Well, they wouldn't send you overseas until you'd gone through several of these startup refineries and processes, and I did 3 or 4 in the United States, and then they sent me over because we had these teams all over the world, and they had a SIBP where Mom worked, had constructed this particular process unit that UOP had designed, and when I went over with our team to start it up, I asked if there was any possibility of playing tennis. And she said, well, there is a club here at SIVP, and I know a friend who might be willing to introduce you to the club. And so that's how it happened. She made the arrangements, contacted Mom, and Mom and Aunt Therese came to our apartment to take me to the tennis place. And unfortunately, I'd been working all night, and because I was on midnight shift, and I had slept through. And so when she got there, that guy the engineer I was living with, said, "Come on in," and they said, "We're not coming in." And so they left. But then he woke me up and said, they were here. And I said, oh my God, I wasn't awake. And so I took a taxi I followed a taxi. I asked a taxi to go to that club, and I would follow it in my little Volkswagen. And that's how I met her. And Papa was there, and Mom, and one other person, Jean, her brother.
How did they like your tennis style?
Well, they didn't like my pants very much. I had these Bermuda shorts on that were not a big success in Belgium. And then later, I have to tell you this, later, after I played that time, then later I played another time there and was invited home to eat lunch with them. And Jean was going to stay with me until I changed and came home. And so he did that. We walked to their house. And later I learned that Jean said, he has shorts on that have flowers on it. He's got, in those days we wore boxer shorts. In America we wore boxer shorts. And in Europe they wear these little briefs, the white briefs. But the Jean had told them all, this guy's got shorts with flowers on it. But anyway, later I got to know Mom a little bit. And then I was sent from that refinery to Germany. So I was working in Germany and was corresponding with Mom, and I'd come back and would see her. And that's how I got to know Mom, by coming back. I'd have to drive back. They did this for any number of people. They would bring them home for dinner. I mean, a lot of priests would come in from Latin America, where Fenal was a priest. They would come in and be treated to a meal, and I don't know if they were ever put up or not, but it was very, very common to have a meal with people from the outside, so I just get into that pattern. Well, I had asked Mom out for dinner a couple of times, and then we got to know each other a little bit better, and so I just thought, I liked her a lot, and I just thought that was what I wanted to do. So I asked her, and she was astounded. It was in a kilt club, I think, where we were. This was a little club that you went to. It was a little private club, because in Belgium they had these liquor laws where after a certain time liquor couldn't be served. So they had these clubs where you would put a bottle in the club and they would keep it for you. And then you could go there after hours and you could either drink your bottle or just sit there and talk. So that's where it was. And then she didn't give me any kind of an answer, but we corresponded, and finally she wrote me a letter. Of course, she wrote it in French. And I wasn't too sure of my French in those days, because I really hadn't started learning French. So I had to have him help me with Mom's letter. And he was reading along. He said, "What? You proposed?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Well." And then he kept reading. "What?" She says, "Maybe yes." It was kind of funny. Mom was not keen because I wasn't Catholic.
Oh.
She wasn't too keen on the whole process.
Interesting.
But she was, you know, she was friendly. In the meantime, she was contacting through Catholic authorities, Catholics in Little Rock to find out if there was anything, you know, was this a serial killer or not. And I almost blew it in Elsternkerk. I have to tell you about this. I was staying in this little hotel, and Mom and her parents were staying in this great big hotel. It's been torn down since. It was a huge hotel. And it had all wooden floors. And it was like a pension where families stay and they eat at a big table. Each family eats at its own table. Or it's a large table, but maybe at this end of the table, one family, at that end of the table, another family. So I was there and eating breakfast, really enjoying it. And, you know, in Little Rock, we always had confiture jelly with our meals, with our breakfast. And there wasn't any, so I saw it on the table and I took it. And it belonged to another family. And everybody just went, what is this? This guy is taking their jelly. And Mom had to explain to people that's the way it was in America, that people expected to have that. And if it wasn't there, but it was on the table, they assumed it was for them. It was really funny. In the meantime, I was sent to Italy. And there I was working in Italy, in Gaeta. And I had to come back from Italy for the wedding.